Well, good morning, everybody. Probably should cut this out, but I found myself watching Outdoors with the Morgans so much that I keep doing the Mike Morgan hand clap. So I've got to find something to do with my hands. So just got off of work, 6 day of work in a row. I should go to bed. I can't do it. Kind of excited about cutting up some more firewood. For the first time in a while, I have everything split at the wood rack. So it looks a little naked with no firewood rounds sitting out in front of it. It's starting to heat up. It's supposed to be like 80 degrees tomorrow, but then we have another cold front coming the day after that, and that's probably when I'll release this video. So it's going to get kind of chilly again for a couple days. So I want to get to cut some firewood because we're going to burn some those days. I expect a few more cold fronts, and I want to go ahead and get some of this green wood up for next year. So let me show you what we're working with. If you watched my last video, you've seen where I come out here. Well, it was the video before last. I showed you this big, gigantic green oak that I have out here. And, you know, it's got limbs dropping off of it. It's not gonna last. Something's wrong with it. I don't know if all these vines grew up on it and killed it, but it's still green. I still see green leaves everywhere. This limb broke off a while back because it's kind of got a hollow cavity to it. It's collecting water. It still has leaves on it, so this is green wood, no doubt. So I want to go ahead and get all this split up that I can for next year, and this is what we'll burn in our house. You know, oak's probably our most popular firewood around here. So that's the plan today. I don't have much time. Like I said, I got to get back to, get to bed for work tonight, but I at least want to get this one limb cut up, hauled up there. It'll make quite a bit of firewood unless it's just really rotten on the inside, but we're gonna go ahead and cut it up and find out. And as you can see how windy it is, I certainly hope y'all can hear me. Got my little windsock on the GoPro here, and it usually does a pretty good job. All right, so I got my old Stihl MS260 with me today. That's what I've been cutting all the firewood here lately. Fantastic firewood saw. The new model, I believe, is the 262 or 261. I can't quite remember. But as far as power to weight ratio, this is a fantastic saw. If I ever wear this one out, I'll be buying another one. I am covered. It's a bad thing about cutting in the wind. It's everywhere. Well, I feel pretty fortunate. Although this tree had a bunch of curves in it, so I did wind up wasting a few pieces of wood. If you watched the other episode, what I was originally concerned was the piece that broke off, as you can see, is rotten as can be. So that's why the whole limb hit the ground. So I figured it was going to be rotten all the way up through this. I was pleasantly surprised that the only other rotten piece is this one right here. And I'll still get a decent amount of firewood out of that. As soon as it went on to the next piece past it, no more rot. So I'm going to wind up with quite a few pieces of green wood here, and I'm just getting started on this tree. So this is great. It's going to go ahead and give me a good jump on next year. And like I said, that's just one limb off of this tree. I'm going to wind up with a lot more than I was realizing out of this one tree. Should be able to fill up several racks, so that's great. I hope I don't lose any more trees this year, but let's be realistic. It's Florida. We have severe thunderstorms, hurricanes, tropical storms, you name it. So chances are a few more are going to blow down this year, and I'll cut them right up and use them. But if not, hey, I love that I've got this one tree here ready to go. So I guess we're going to go back, get the tractor, get all this cleaned up, haul the wood, and then we'll push these last few limbs off in here. Although I am about to clean all this out at some point, but I'll just push them in a pile for now. And I'll find a spot on the property where I can push all this mess out of here. Because if you watch the other episode, you'll know that I'm about to clear all this out. Our property goes back there probably another 60 plus yards from where I'm standing. And I want to clear all this out back here because I got some really big live oaks, cherry trees, a few other types of trees. And I want the animals that we have out here in the pasture to come back here for shade. So I'm going to run my fence on the backside. So that'll keep them from shacking up around that one big, gigantic live oak up there, which will be near the house. And not that I don't want to see the animals, I do. That's the whole reason we're building the house where we are, so we can have a back porch that'll overlook this pasture. But I don't want them to constantly go to the same shade tree, making it kind of mushy, nasty, and stink around there, you know. So it'll be just fine for cows and all to wander back here, get them some shade. So that's kind of what I'm doing this for. I'm gonna get this tree out of the way, cut up all these aggravating vines, and then we'll start clearing this out coming up here in the future. And all this mess that we're looking at here, all these oak trees and little persimmons, all that's going to wind up getting chipped up in my chipper and ultimately wind up in the garden as mulch. So I have a tremendous amount of chipping to do back here. Also, since we're already talking real quick, if you're just new to the channel, this entire tree line here, I've got to limb all of it, chip all that up, and that's where I'm going to run a fence over there. So just this one pasture alone is going to be for our animals. Everything else on the other side, if you've watched, you know that's my food plot. So let's go back, get the tractor, get all this cleaned up. well, just like that, it's over. We got the limb cut all up, everything pushed clean, and here coming up in the future, like I said, we're going to take down the rest of this tree, and then I'm going to go in here and clean all this out. And I am not a big fan of burning at all. That's why I bought the chipper. But I've got so much large junk in here that I probably am going to wind up pushing a pile right here after I cut, chip, clear everything out. And I'll box blade through here, get all the tree stumps and roots up, push a pile, and I may do one burn back here. So this is going to be a big project coming up in the future. A lot of chainsawing, a lot of clearing, chipping. I'll be running the flail mower back here, digging with the root rake. It's going to be a lot of tractor work and just a lot of cleanup in general. So that'll be something exciting coming up for the future. Then, like I said, I got to move to that tree line over there, put fencing in. So I'm hiring if anybody's interested. I don't pay very well. Actually, I don't pay much at all. So if you want to come help me put in some fence for free and clear all out, just submit your application below. Just kidding. All right, well, I appreciate y'all so much for watching. Again, thank you to all the new subscribers. Just, we keep having these days in spurts to where we'll pick up 10, 15 subscribers. So thank y'all so much for joining. Again, thank you to all the subscribers that's been here from the beginning. I know the channel's only a few months old, but sometimes it's easy to lose interest. So I appreciate all y'all that stuck around and supported the channel. I'm doing my best to make these videos as interesting as I can for chores, but obviously y'all must be like me. You've got a soft spot for firewood, chainsaws, and tractors. And that's what this channel is about. So thank y'all so much for watching.